Happy Tuesday, friends. Well, friends, today is Tuesday. And as always, I get to remind you that you can choose not just today on a Tuesday, but each and every single day of the week. Well, today, friends, I want to talk to you about the principle of sowing and reaping. Now, before you log off, I'm not going to be talking about farming because I know absolutely nothing about farming, okay? But today I want to talk to you about another application of this principle of sowing and reaping that if you can just understand, it's going to radically change your life. And so let's jump straight into it by going to Genesis 8 verse 22, which says this. It says, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest, which really is sowing and reaping. Okay, so seed time and harvest, brackets, sowing and reaping, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. And so what we see from this passage of scripture is that seed time and harvest time, in other words, sowing and reaping, is an eternal principle. While the earth remains, the scripture says it will not cease. In other words, it will not pass away. And so you're probably asking, well, what is a principle? Well, friends, a principle is simply this. It's simply something that's universal. It's also something that's consistent. A principle is something that's always on and it's always working. You know, it's kind of like the principle of gravity, right? We all know that principle says what goes up must come down, right? And we all know that, you know, whether you're male, whether you're female, this principle is always going to work for you, right? So if I was to throw up this book, you know, what would happen? If I was to throw it up, it would come down. Well, let's check that one out, right? Oh, okay. Gravity is working. The book came down. But now what would happen if I gave this very same book to my 6-year-old, right? And you know, it's a cool book, my first book of mealtime prayers. If I was to give her my first book of mealtime prayers and I said, you know, Tinaya, you throw up this book. Well, what would happen, friends? The book would obviously come down. Why? Because, man, the principle of gravity is always on and it's always working. So when it comes to sowing and reaping, seed time and harvest, the principle that's always on, always working is simply this. You reap what you sow. Of course, the converse is also true. If you don't sow, you're not going to reap. Now, this principle applies to every single area of our lives, including our relationships with our spouses, our relationships with our family, our children, our co-workers, our business partners, our friends. This principle applies to all the relationships that we'll ever have in our lives. And when it comes to our relationships, the principle is simply this. You get out of your relationships what you are willing to put into your relationships. And of course, we know the converse is also true. If you are not willing to put much into your relationships, well, you can't expect much out of those relationships. I like to put it this way, friends. We need to be the people that we want to have in our lives. And so how does this apply practically? Well, maybe today you're looking for help in your life. You're looking for people to help you. Well, it starts by you being someone who's helpful to others. If you want people to be more patient with you, it starts by you being more patient to people first. Maybe you could do with more friends. Well, according to this principle, it starts by you becoming a friend. It starts by you being interested in how people are doing, following up on people, inviting people out for coffee, inviting people to your home, you know, for dinner. Friends, it starts by you becoming a friend. My husband has the most generous friends. A few weeks ago, you know, he came home with 2 pairs of really amazing shoes. And his friend just gave him those shoes, you know, just because I want to just bless you, friend. Do you know why he has the most generous friends? It's because my husband is the most generous person I know. We need to be the people that we want to have in our lives. And then the good news is that it's never too late. It's never too late to begin to cultivate a lifestyle really of being the people that you want to have in your life. And so friends, I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you today with this. Start sowing the seeds that you want to reap in your life. Choose to plant those seeds and watch those relationships grow. Friends, you can do it. Always cheering for you. Bye-bye.